Hello, this is Snake Eyes 111, and this is my second video in my modern series, I guess, for Fallout builds and Fallout settlements. As you can see, a lot of ideas are at play with what I want to make for this project so far. So what I wanted to do now is walk you through some of the changes that I've made. First, the oceanfront property, or the beach house. I received a comment from Shambam or Ish DJD about the quick cutoff going into the ocean. I had been thinking similarly when I was working on it, and I wasn't quite done with everything there, and I may need to go back again. But the end result of what I had in that video was quite flat. The changes I made, it may look very dangerous, and probably is. I used these flat, whitish blue walls, all manually placed, to give some texture to the area. I was kind of thinking of a natural wave, slightly, but also thinking of somewhat straight. It was difficult to do, but basically manually placing it to give it some texture, and then using the concrete foundations that slightly go off the edge of the white wall around the base, as an extension of the area into the water. I think it was a definite improvement, though the wall solution does have some imperfections with the way it looks up close, and when you look at it, some of the walls aren't straight, which is really difficult to do, surprisingly. So the next thing I added was to the beach house was a basement-like solution with a staircase leading to a floor that is kind of permanently placed, but it would open in theory to another basement where you can imagine there's a bathroom and there's a room and there's a living room, and more comfortable living room with bedrooms and bathrooms and stuff you would actually need. But unfortunately, it's all filled with dirt under there, so I can't actually make any of that. But I'll leave it up to your imagination. So as far as the pier, it seems rather simple, and I wanted it to appear so. Adding too much detail to it, and when I did add too much detail, it seemed like I was complicating the structure far too much. In fact, it's still far too complicated for what a pier really is, which is basically just a floor with some supports and maybe a railing. But I wanted to add something to it, so I added that awning and the benches, and that seemed to do well. I focused more on the outside a little bit. I like the use of the cemetery pillars as a more fancy pillar around the base of the pier, leading from the land itself. So the slipway has a bit more added to it. It's more of a ramp now than what I had before, which is basically like stairs and a very steep incline. So I made the floor far more ramp-like, I guess, an actual slipway, and I used some references for that, but and the dock too, or the pier too, but I think it came out all right. There's some things I want to do to it to add some more detail to it, but I didn't quite know what to do right this moment. I think it'll come to me when I build out the rest of the area, and I can sort of get a feel for what's going on in the rest of the area, and then I can, add anything I find additionally later on. So while I was doing the pier, I got a little distracted and decided to make this area with a greenhouse. I was originally thinking of a park bench in this area and just having like a nice little nature area to walk through or whatever. But it didn't really display the fancy decadence of the modern style that I wanted to do. It was far too simple to just have a park bench and some vegetation. It didn't really work for me. So what I wanted to do, obviously I wanted to have the area to have some more wild nature to it, but still retain the fancy mansion style I want to keep working towards in the next house over there. Obviously, very close in the distance is a much larger foundation for a large mansion, and underneath the yard, a garage of some sort near the slipway. So it's a very large yard with sculptures and trimmed trees, as well as a sand garden and some other things I would like to do there. I just need more time to solidify exactly what I want to do there. Perhaps when I work on the structure itself, I'll decide what I want to do. But the next thing I'm going to work on is the road leading to these homes, but also that boat I've been meaning to get to. I have an idea for the location now, and I have some sense of what I want to do for this water area over here. So I think the position of the boat is going to be a lot more fitting now that I've thought about it more. I think everything came out nicely. I really just need to fill out more of the area to get a greater sense of what I want to convey. I suppose the downside of these partial build videos is that these things aren't really finished, and my whole idea is not fully captured for these areas and these videos, so I feel I need to explain exactly what I was thinking of in these areas. So, yeah, next will be the boat. And I have an idea for that. I wanted to get it done sooner, but obviously I've had some things going on, so getting to it now, and I'll probably work on that boat tomorrow. Regardless, let me know what you want to see next, or if you have any suggestions for what I'll be making. Thank you for watching.